Hello, my name is Michael Stone, President of the California Music Educators Association, or CMEA. 2 years ago, CMEA brought together music education leaders from the various professional associations in California to form the Stand Up for Music Coalition. This coalition brings together the leaders of California's family of music education associations to identify policy and legislative priorities that affect music education in our state. An annual meeting held each January at the National Association of Music Merchants, or NAMM, show in Anaheim provides the setting where policy priorities are identified for the year. As CMEA continues its work in creating an ongoing and systematic infrastructure for statewide music education advocacy in Sacramento, this address provides you with an outline of the 6 Stand Up for Music policy priorities for 2014. These 6 items are in priority order. Priority number 1. The Education Code requires all California students in grades 1 through 12 receive access to music education. But the law is not being followed. Veteran music educator and CMEA member Carl Schaefer has pointed out that Education Codes 51210 and 51220 require a visual and performing arts course of study for all children in California public schools. Unfortunately, however, Education Code 51050 puts enforcement of the aforementioned law with local school boards, which can apply for waivers to delay or even avoid compliance with requiring music education. The State Board of Education and the California Department of Education point their fingers towards local school boards and vice versa regarding this compliancy issue. Enforcement of the Education Code is CMEA and Stand Up for Music's top priority for 2014. Priority number 2, Senate Bill 1458. This bill, signed into law by Governor Brown in September of 2012, revamps California's School Accountability Formula, or Academic Performance Index, also called API, when fully implemented in 2016. The new API will limit standardized test scores to 60% of a high school's API, leaving 40% to be determined by other factors, including college readiness and school-to-career pathways. CMEA is working with state agencies and legislative leaders to include whether or not a school has a music education program as part of the yet undetermined 40% API calculation. Priority number 3, the new school funding law in California, commonly called the Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF, provides an opportunity for local school boards to allocate more funding towards music education programs. Governor Brown's push to pass Proposition 30 in 2012 saved many music programs in California, as $6 billion in cuts to the budget were avoided with temporary tax increases. Now, CMEA will lead the way by providing implementation models and how-to guides for assisting our members in expanding music education programs at the local level with regards to the LCFF. Priority number 4, CMEA is opposed to a Visual and Performing Arts, or VAPA, umbrella credential. Our friends in the dance and theater worlds have been advocating for single-subject dance and theater credentials in California for some time. While CMEA supports the idea of discrete credentials in dance and theater, all while maintaining the current authorizations to teach dance and theater embedded within physical education and English credentials, the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing has voted to table this idea of discrete credentials, in part due to opposition from the California Teachers Association. An umbrella visual and performing arts credential has been proposed as an alternative to the single-subject credentials in dance and theater. Again, CMEA is strongly opposed to this idea, as it would clearly weaken our current single-subject music credential and lessen the rigor of teacher preparation programs in music. CMEA's opposition to the VAPA umbrella credential has put the idea to rest for the time being. CMEA will continue to monitor this matter. Priority number 5. California must be an early adoption state with regards to the new national standards for music. California is not set to adopt new music standards until 2017. The new national music standards will be released this summer, and CMEA is working in Sacramento to get the earliest possible adoption timeline put into place. Finally, priority number 6, Assembly Bill 1575, also called the Student Fees Bill, was signed into law over a year ago. This law prohibits California school districts from charging students fees to participate in the educational program. California's state constitution calls for a, quote, free education for all students. While most Californians believe the intent of AB 1575 was good, no discrete funding for music education exists in California, and consequently, high schools have had to limit performance trips and other educational activities. CMEA must support its members by finding solutions to the implications of this bill. Please visit the Stand Up for Music website at www.standup4music.org for further information. Thank you for supporting the work of the Stand Up for Music Coalition.